come through.
Who from?
The Titanic. They've struck a berg.
The lake falls past.
No, they've struck a berg. They want...
Should be there by now, sir. What a silence.
The Cunard liner, Carpathia, is known for its vital role during the Titanic disaster, but its full history and demise is not talked about that much. I'd like to shout out ExoCat and also this dude for giving me the idea to talk about the Carpathia. But anyways, let's get into the video. Carpathia was built in 1902 for a company called Cunard Line, because why not? Although lacking the speed and grand luxury of express liners, and initially having no first-class accommodations until 1905, the Carpathia quickly developed a reputation as a comfortable ship, particularly in rough weather. The ship became popular with both tourists and immigrants. During the summer season, the Carpathia operated mainly between Liverpool and New York City, and in the winter, the Carpathia would travel from New York City to the Mediterranean basin. The Carpathia had a max capacity of 1,704 passengers. After 1905, it was 2,550. Carpathia had 7 decks, a beam of 64 feet, a draught of 34 feet, a tonnage of 13,000 gross registered tons, and the length of 558 feet. 300 feet off the Titanic, or something. The Carpathia departed New York City on the 11th of April, 1912, and Titanic departed Southampton on the 10th of April, 1912. Among Carpathia's passengers, there were the American painters Colin Campbell Cooper and his wife Emma, author Philip Morrow, journalist Lewis Palmer Skidmore, and Carlos Fayette Hurd, with their wives named Emily Vinton Skidmore and Catherine Corden Hurd.
They say they always grow up to look like their mothers.
The older one's keener, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Why don't you try giving them both a miss this trip?
And take the mother out.
Yes, you might do worse by the side of it. You're heating my blood. I think I'll turn in. Sweet dreams.
Good night, Sparks.
Harold Cottam, the Carpathia's only wireless operator, retires to his cabin before hearing the SOS call by the Titanic. He writes down the coordinates and heads to the bridge to tell the officers.
Mr. Dean! Sir! There's a distress call just come through.
Who from?
The Titanic. They've struck a berg.
The lake falls past.
No, they've struck a berg. They want us to come at once. They're sinking.
The Titanic? Don't be a fool.
It's true! I'm going to the captain.
Carpathia's officers did not know Titanic was in trouble, and so Harold Cottam headed to the captain.
Sir! Sir! What the devil's going? Haven't you learned to knock before you come in here? It's a distress call, sir, from the Titanic. She's sinking.
I'm sorry, sir.
Mr. Dean, turn the ship round. Head northwest. I'll work the course out for you in a minute.
Aye, sir.
Now, Cotton. You're sure this is the Titanic?
Yes, sir.
Certain.
Absolutely.
All right, check back. Find out everything you can. Tell them we're coming as fast as possible.
Yes, sir.
As Titanic's situation weakens, Carpathia heads to Titanic's aid, 56 miles away. By now, Titanic's situation is very desperate, but Carpathia is trying at 14 knots. The crew managed to get it to a 16-knot speed, but that's not enough to get to Titanic's aid in time.
Should be there by now, sir. Not a sign of her. Must have given a wrong position.
Iceberg on the port bow, sir.
Starboard a point.
Starboard 1 point, sir.
Slow ahead.
Slow ahead, sir. Starboard 1 point.
There's a flare ahead, sir.
Fire a rocket.
I tell you, we're done.
Oh, shut up.
No water, no food. Got no compass, no chart.
That's the North Star up there, isn't it?
What's the use of that? We're hundreds of miles from
After
land.
2 hours, the Carpathia arrives at the scene and rescues 706 survivors. 1,500 souls are dead, and the funeral service is held down below decks.
Sir? We're at the place now. I thought you'd like to see for yourself.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
We only found one body, I'm afraid. The rest must have been carried further on by the current. But of course, we'll go on searching for survivors until we turn back to New York.
Yes, sir. How many?
Well, the purser's checked the figures now. We have on board 705 survivors. Several of those in the boats were dead, I'm afraid.
1,500 lost.
That's right, yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, Cottam, yes, what is it?
Message from the Californian, sir. She's nearby. Just heard about the Titanic. Wants to know if there's anything she can do.
And as you mostly would know, the Titanic is one of the deadliest disasters in history. During the First World War, the Carpathia was used to transfer Canadian and American expeditionary forces to Europe. At least some of the voyages were in convoy. Among her passengers during these war years was Frank Buckles, who went on to become the last surviving American veteran of the Great War. On the 15th of July, 1918, the Carpathia departed from Liverpool in a convoy bound for Boston, carrying 57 passengers, 36 saloon class and 21 steerage, and 166 crew. At around 9:15 a.m., while sailing in the southwest approaches, a torpedo was sighted approaching on her port side. The engines were thrown in full astern and the helm was turned hard to starboard, but it was too late to avoid the torpedo. 5 crewmen were dead, all in the engine room where the torpedo hit. Carpathia began to sink, and all passengers and crew disembarked on the 11 lifeboats. There's actually 2 photos of the Carpathia sinking, which are pretty interesting to watch. But yes, anyways, Carpathia sank. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. Yes, this went for like 9 minutes and I'm getting tired as it's like 10 o'clock at night here. So yeah, I kind of lost a bit of motivation while filming the end of this. Sorry about that, guys. But yes, another video topic will be coming out next week, possibly the RMS Olympic.